Hey there, welcome to my power yoga class for Tower Yoga. My name is Farin Martinez, and this is a 30-minute power yoga class to help you feel empowered to move on through the rest of your day, or maybe even just end your day, depending on when you're taking this class. In this class, I encourage you to take imperfect action. Oftentimes, we are in this analysis paralysis state where we don't want to make a decision, we don't want to take action because we don't know if it's the right action or if it's going to come out perfect or the way that we imagine it. But I encourage you throughout this class to just take imperfect action, just do the moves. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to even feel a certain way. As long as you're moving, your heart's going to be pumping, and hopefully it'll help you feel empowered throughout the rest of your day. Cool, we will get started in a child's pose. Take your knees wide to the edges of your mat. Your big toes can touch together behind you. Walk or slide your hands forward. Nestle your hips back towards your heels as much as you can. Get a nice long big stretch. Tuck your chin, drop your forehead towards the mat. And find your breath here. Another full breath in. Deep sigh out. As you inhale, lift up your head and chest. You can tent your palms coming up onto your fingertips and walk your fingertips as far forward as you can. Get a nice long stretch through your upper body. Take another breath in here. And out. Next, inhale, walk your hands over to the left side off of your mat. Stack your right hand on top of left. Draw your hips back towards your right heel so you feel a nice side body stretch on the right. Your forehead can drop back down between your arms. And breathe. With your next inhale, lift up head and chest. Walk your hands over to the right side. Stack your left hand on top of right. Hips draw back towards your left heel. Drop your forehead between your arms and breathe. With your next inhale, come back to center and come up to all fours, stacking your knees underneath your hips. Shoulders stack over your wrists. You're in a tabletop position. Find length in your spine by drawing your tailbone back and the crown of your head forward. Take one breath here. And breath out. Tuck your toes, arch your back, look forward or up for cow pose. Then as you exhale, round your spine, cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last one, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Take your knees back out to the edges of your mat. Untuck your toes, touch your big toes together. Drop your hips back to your heels. Take one breath here. Let it go. We'll begin with child's pose push-ups. You'll lift your hips up, forward, and down as you bend your elbows. Keep your elbows hugged and tight to your body. Press all the way back to a full child's pose. Up, forward, and down, and all the way back. Find imperfect action. It doesn't have to look a certain way, as long as you're moving. Let's take two more. Hold your child's pose. Take one breath in. And one breath out. Inhale back up to all fours. Extend your right leg straight back. Kick your heel towards the the back of your mat. Point your right toes down towards your mat. Take one breath in it, and one breath out. Now bend your right knee, kick the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. Take little pulses here. It doesn't have to look a certain way. You're squeezing your right glutes as you kick up. For 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot forward, place it in between your hands. Lift your arms, your torso up for a low lunge position. Then as you're here, press your left shin down into the mat so that you feel your quadriceps engaged. That's the front of your thigh. Feel all that activation in your leg as you press your shin, the top of your left foot down into your mat. Now tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee. You're in a high lunge. Imperfect action here. Bend your left knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. It doesn't have to look a certain way. You don't have to worry about how far your right knee is bending over your toes. Just pulse up, down. Last 3, 2, 1. Move straight into a warrior 3 posture. You can take your hands to heart center, kick your left leg straight back, try to engage your quads by straightening your left knee. Hands can also reach back behind you or forward in front of you. Again, it doesn't have to look a certain way. You can even have your fingertips down on the mat for a modification. Try to root down into your right big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Find your breath. With your next inhale, bring your left knee forward, reach your arms up. You're in a one-leg mountain pose. Hold your balance here. Keep rooting down into right big toe, pinky toe, heel. Then step your left foot behind your right. Take your hands down to heart center. It's a curtsy lunge. Bend both knees and straighten. Again, it doesn't have to look a certain way. As long as you're moving. Last 3, 2, 1. You'll return to your one-leg mountain pose. Rooting down into your right big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Hold your balance here. Take another breath in it. And as you exhale, bend your right knee until your left foot plants down on the mat next to your right. You're in a chair pose. In your chair, your heart is forward. There's an arch in your lower back. Arms are reaching up, shoulders near your ears. Press your heels away from each other as if you're trying to rip your mat apart to help engage your glutes, your outer hip muscles. Hold your chair, and we'll take just 8 pulses here, down, up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward fold. Lift up halfway with an inhale, fingertips to your shins, neutral spine. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands. Step your knees back down to the mat and take them out wide. Big toes touch, child's pose. Lift your hips up, forward and down. Back to our child's pose push-ups. Taking imperfect action. Maybe you find you need to move your hands farther away from you or closer to you. That's how life works. We take imperfect action at first and then we refine. We make things feel better, we make things look better. Last 2. Last 1. Come up to tabletop pose. Extend your left leg long, heel kicks towards the back of your mat, toes point down. Make sure that you're engaging your quadriceps, that's the front of your thigh, to help straighten your leg. Now bend your left knee. Use the strength of your glutes to kick the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. Last 3, 2, 1. Step your left foot in between your hands. Raise your arms up, torso lifts. Press down into your right shin, the top of your right foot, until you feel your right quadriceps engage, front of your thigh. Breathe. With your next inhale, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. And as you exhale, bend your right knee and straighten. Find your own pace of breath. Find your own pace for these lunges. It's okay if it's a little wobbly, adjust your feet as you need to. Start with that imperfect action and then refine. Last 3, 2, 1. We move right into warrior 3. Hands can go to heart center. Kick your right leg straight back. Root down into left big toe, pinky toe and heel. Hands can go out to your sides or behind you or ahead of you. It's okay if you fall out of it, get right back in. Fingertips can also go down to the mat. We're here for one more breath. With your next inhale, bring your right knee forward and up as you reach your arms up, one leg mountain pose. Hold, tighten your core, pull your belly button into your spine. Now your right foot steps behind your left leg. Take your hands down to heart center, bend both knees and straighten. So this is a curtsy lunge. Doesn't have to look a certain way. Take that imperfect action. Last 3, 2, 1. Return to your one leg mountain pose. Bring your right knee forward and up. Then gently, slowly bend your left knee until your right foot plants down on the mat. Arms are reaching up. There's an arch in your low back. Press your heels away from each other. Activate your glutes. Chair pose. Breathe. One more breath in. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your knees down. Take a little rest, a little one. Take a sip of water, towel off if you need to. I didn't bring my water with me. That's okay. I'll let you take your little break. And then as you're ready, reset by stacking your head above your heart. Get ready for the second round of this flow. Come back to your breath and hold that intention into your mind. You're taking that imperfect action. You refine as you go along, but every action starts imperfectly. All right, for the second round, you can either go back to your child's pose push-ups with your knees down, big toes are touching. For an extra challenge, you can start in a plank pose. Take your knees wide and take your hips back to your heels, just like you're in child's, but you're lifted off the mat. Then come forward to plank. Back into this frog position and forward to plank. So either way, take imperfect action. You're here, either frog to plank, flow, or child's pose push-ups. Last 3, 2, 1. Move up to plank if you're not here already. Then take your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Adjust your feet as you need to. You can pedal and push through your heels to stretch out the back sides of your legs. Find your breath. With your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back, 3-limb dog. Find that same action and energy that you did when we were in our tabletop pose with one leg back. So right leg is nice and straight. You're engaging your quads, your glutes. Now bring your right knee forward towards your left elbow. Find this little twist here. You're hovering in a plank pose. And kick back to a 3-limb dog. Same thing, right knee crosses to left elbow. And take it back. Just once more, right knee crosses to left elbow, hold. Move your knee over to the right side and over to the left. Right, left, you're finding a pendulum swing here. Be really strong in your hands, your shoulders, you're pressing the mat away. You're letting your knee just swing. For 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot forward in between your hands. Rise up to your high lunge. And immediately we start with our pulses down, up. For 3, 2, 1. Warrior 3. Any version of it that you choose. Hold your balance. Tight core, strong legs. Breath. 1 leg mountain pose, left knee draws forward. And then right into our curtsy lunges, left foot steps behind, bend and straighten. Just 3, 2, 1. 1 leg mountain. And down to chair. Take a breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to your plank pose. So if you want to take another round of those child's pose push-ups, you'll take your knees wide, big toes touch. If not, you're up in a plank with me. Then you bend your knees and drop them out wide, hips back to heels, and forward to plank. Either way works. You choose child's pose push-ups or the frog to plank rolls. Just 3, 2, 1. Find plank if you're not here already. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. You can pedal and push or hold still. We'll be here just one more breath. Inhale your left leg back and up, 3-limb dog. Nice straight left leg. Engage your quads, engage your glutes. Then bring your left knee towards your right elbow. Find this twist and take it back, 3-limb dog. Find the twist, 3-limb dog. You have just one more. Bring it over here for the twist and then let it swing, pendulum swings. Left knee is moving between your right knee or your right elbow and your left elbow. Between your elbows, let's go. Imperfect action, imperfect words. For 3, 2, 1. Step your left foot forward in between your hands. Rise up, high lunge. Take those pulses down, up. Just 3, 2, 1. Warrior 3. Find your breath, find your balance. Let it be imperfect. With your next inhale, come up to a 1-leg mountain. And drop back into curtsy lunges with your exhale. Bend and straighten. For 3, 2, 1. Back to 1-leg mountain pose. Maintain that balance even if it's wobbly. Bend your left knee to find chair. Both feet plant. Spin your heels away from each other. Find your breath. One more breath in. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant hands. Step your knees down. One more rest break. Remind yourself that you're taking imperfect action. As you take a sip of water, maybe towel off. I'm sweating. I hope you're sweating if that was your intention for this class. 30-minute power yoga class on YouTube. Cool. Maybe didn't know you were going to sweat so much. Just take a few more moments, a few deep breaths. All right, one full breath in with me. Big sigh. Let's return to our plank pose. Wrists stack underneath your shoulders. Make sure the balls of your feet are stacked underneath your heels. You might need to slide your toes back a little. Then engage your quads. That's the front of your thigh to help straighten out your legs. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Press the mat away with your hands so you're finding space in between your shoulder blades on your back. And breathe. We're holding this plank just for 3, 2, 1. Let your hips go up and back. Downward facing dog, stretch it out. And we can't skip the core. We always finish our power classes with some core. Lift your heels up high, bend your knees, look forward at your hands. Step your feet to the outsides of your hands. Sink down into a deep yogi squat malasana. You can use your elbows to help open your knees. Take your hands to heart center. Or you can leave fingertips down on the earth if you need more support. Either way, use this to help open up your hips. And then moving right into that core, drop yourself down into a seat. Lean back until you feel your core muscles engage. Lift your feet up off of the mat. Make sure your shins are parallel with the earth. You can reach your hands forward. You can take a hold of your thighs, or you can take your hands behind you. Lots of different options here. We're holding our boat pose. For an extra challenge, you can straighten your legs. We've been engaging our quads throughout class. If not, just keep them here parallel with the earth with me. Try to keep your chest up, your shoulders back. Gaze forward. Find breath. I'm shaking. It's imperfect, but we're taking this action. And to finish it off, heels go down to the ground, hands go to heart center. Find a twist, right, left. Keep moving. Let's go 3 more times each side. 2 and 1. Come back to center. You can grab onto your knees. Pull your chest forward with an inhale. As you exhale, lean back, round your spine. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, lean back. Last one. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, lean back. All right, very last thing. It'll be high boat, low boat crunches. So we'll start in that high boat position just like we did before. You can watch me first. We move to a low boat where you straighten out your legs. Your shoulder blades are still lifted off of the mat. You have a lot of tension here in your core muscles. You're reaching forward. Come back up to your high boat and down to your low boat. Let it be imperfect. It's okay if it's wobbly. We're just doing 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to your back. Take a moment here to catch your breath. Notice the sensations of your body, the drips of sweat if you're like me. And this was a really big workout. And then we'll close with some mobility and stretching. First, reach your hands and your feet up towards the ceiling. Circle your ankles and your wrists in both directions. And then bend your knees, take your hands to your knees and pull them away from each other to circle them back towards each other. So find these hip mobility circles. They can be shallow or wide, fast or slow. Check in with what your hips are feeling. And switch directions. And allow your right foot to plant down on the mat. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Use your left hand to press your left knee away. You're in a figure 4. Keep your left ankle flexed so your toes are pointing towards the ceiling. You can stay right here if this feels like a good stretch, or you can lift your right foot and bring your knees in towards your chest, keeping the figure 4 shape. Your left arm can then go through the hole you've made with your legs. Use both hands to grab onto the back of your right thigh and squeeze in, or maybe you can grab onto your right shin. In this reclined pigeon pose, option to rock side to side and see how that feels. Can help change up the stretch that you're feeling in your glutes. This is targeting your glutes, your outer hip muscles. We work those a lot during class today. Full breath in it. And a full breath out. Release by dropping your right foot down. Then take your left foot planted down, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Use your right hand to press your right foot away. You can hold this figure 4 shape. This feels like a good stretch. If you'd like more, lift your left foot up and bring your knees in towards your chest. Your right hand then goes through the hole you've made with your legs. Both hands grab the back of left thigh or left shin. Rock side to side in your reclined pigeon shape if it feels good. One more breath in it. And as you exhale, release. You can drop your left foot down, drop your right foot down, and wiggle your feet out to the edges of your mat. Let your knees dip in together to support one another. Here you can rest your hands on your body or out to your sides, or take your arms up overhead, connect your fingertips so your elbows drop out wide. This is a constructive rest position. Sometimes this can feel better than Shavasana when you've done a really active practice, or if you're having any issues with your low back. If you'd like, you can move into a full Shavasana with your legs out long and arms out at your sides. So you choose here. Find your final resting shape for class. And as you're in Shavasana, you can reflect on the intention for class today of taking imperfect action. Instead of allowing yourself to be paralyzed by inaction because you're thinking about what you imagine something will turn out to be. You have this perfect image of how you want it to be. And it keeps you from actually taking that action because you're too afraid that it's not going to turn out the way you want. Can you instead take this imperfect action? Just start. Start anywhere. Start somewhere. You're welcome to remain in Shavasana as long as you'd like. That's the beauty of YouTube. But if you want to wake up with me, start to wiggle fingers and toes. Circle ankles and wrists both ways. Take a big full body stretch. And gently make your way up to a seated position. You can take your hands together at heart center. Close your eyes or take a soft focus at something ahead of you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you in this empowered practice. Thank you for taking imperfect action with me and then refining as you go. May this intention serve you throughout the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Namaste.